Hello and welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you join me here today. I'm really pleased to see how much you enjoyed my last video looking at Rebecca, the latest film version of it, and sharing with you some patterns that we can recreate that look. I've plenty more of these planned for you, just too many really, so I won't inundate you for now, and obviously they take a bit of time to pull all the patterns and the ideas together, but I absolutely love doing them, and it's just such fun to return back to that theme. It's something I share with my patrons over at Bobo Bun Sewing Club. I've done on Instagram in the past, so yeah, to bring it here to my YouTube channel is really lovely. So thank you for the comments and, you know, the enjoyment that you've told me you've got from it and the inspiration. It means a lot, you know, because I just love to be able to enthuse and inspire you as much as I am enthused and inspired by it all. Today I'm going to be looking at primarily jackets, but it'll be a bit of knitwear. It's some things that I've made, and I thought I'll share with you a few of my plans from some vintage fabrics that I found at the weekend. So it's sort of a mishmash of different things, a catch up, sew and tell, knit and tell, yeah, that's what we're doing today. So first off, I'll talk about what I'm wearing, and then I'm going to pop some other things on. I'm wearing the jacket that's this month's project for my Patreon, Bobo Bun Sewing Club, and we're looking at Bloomsbury style. And I drafted this jacket for them, and I called it the Bloomsbury jacket. I could have called it after many of the other fabulous women within that group, but I just wanted to give it an overarching name. So if I come closely, you can see the glorious fabric. I found this in March of this year in a vintage shop, and if I just show you inside, it's just like, it's like a satin, and then it's got this sort of brushed cotton wool inside. So I didn't line it because it's so soft against the skin if you're wearing a short sleeve, and it's really cozy. But it's like a paisley print with these blue roses all over it, and it's lovely to wear. I put simple long sleeves on, and then I just did a little slit at the cuffs, and it's a strap collar which you can wear up or fold down. I look fabulous with long beads. I don't really wear beads. I used to have a lot of beads, and I think they're stored away somewhere, but I've put on one of my corsages, and I mean, it just sounds like it's always about Patreon, isn't it? But that's where I share a lot of my designs, my creativity. So this was my first ever project in June 23, the anemone corsage, but obviously I wear my corsages all the time. If you follow me for a while, you know I love wearing a brooch or a corsage. So I'm wearing this jacket today over a striped Somerset top. It's long sleeved, got deep cuffs, it's bishop sleeve t-shirt. And I'll try and turn the camera down. It's really hard to show trousers. Funny angle here, but I've got these high-waisted trousers from the wearing history. I did talk about them in the Rebecca, how they would have the button stand on here, and you'll notice I put a zip in the side, which will tell you why. I love wearing my high-waisted trousers with the buttons down the side, and I've got the buttons in my hand here. These were going to be the buttons. Can you see them? They're going to go on the jacket behind me now instead. But these were going to be the buttons down the side, and I started to sew the first buttonhole, and it just wouldn't sew through the thickness of the denim with the placket there. The denim's just too heavy. And if you sew buttonholes and you try and unpick them, you'll know what a nightmare it is unpicking all those tiny stitches. But I had to unpick them, remove the plackets, and I thought the only solution is to put a zip in the side so that I can wear them. I wore these trousers last night, or they're sort of like wide leg jeans really. I wore them last night to teach my beginner sewing class, and they were so comfortable. I feel really good in them. So I've popped them on again today, just to feel really comfy in the home, but they look great outside. So that's a win-win, isn't it? I always love my clothes to feel comfortable. I want to look stylish, but comfort is paramount to me. So we've had those three things. Behind me, I've got a new jacket I've made. Now, I think it was about 2, maybe 3 videos ago, I talked about how I was making a quilted reproduction of the Joni jacket for my daughter Millie, and I was using the Tilly and the Buttons Sunny jacket. So I will just show it. I might pop it on. If I hold it up, you can see it's lined, and the undercollar is in this green. It's actually a curtain lining to get the right green, and then it's all lined with the green. this lovely collar. I did shorten the curve on the collar slightly for her, but kept everything else on the collar as it was. And then if I come close, hopefully that picks up how to quilt all the pieces to flannel, and then I lined it. So I shall just slip it on to show you. Her back's a little bit broader than mine, so I have to add an extra inch in there. Her arms are a little bit longer, so it's a bit too long. But other than that, we're sort of similar size. So this is the jacket with the wide collar and the buttons on here. These were some in my stash. She absolutely loves it. She wore it to an interview yesterday, but she said I'm gonna have to sew the collar down because she felt like Dumbo, because the wind kept lifting these up like they were big ears flapping in the wind. So I just need a few stitches to hold the collar down for her. But this is the jacket, and at the bottom and on the hems I bias bound it to sort of fuse a bit like a quilt, really. You know, it's quilted and it's like a quilt. Now on Foxy Lady is my version. I was always going to make a cream jacket. I'd got this lovely sort of whitey to cream stretch denim quite a while ago, and I was going to make a boxy jacket. Well, I'd worked on the pattern for Millie and I thought that's the exact shape I want. I was going to do a different collar, and I thought, you know what, it'd be quite nice to do a different collar to the one I would normally wear. So I just made it more of a Peter Pan type of collar, not so big, but with the frill. And then I added some little pockets, so I'll show it to you what I've done, and then I'll pop it on as well. I'm just trying to make Foxy Lady grow. So here you can see the collar, and I've added the frill on it and top stitched it round. It was a nightmare getting this frill on because the denim is so thick to try and, you know, gather it up, but I succeeded. So you can see it comes around to the back there. Sorry about the squeaking of Foxy Lady. And I found this fabric from an old blouse that I'd made, so I've used that as the lining, and it's underlined, you know, the undercollar as well. So, you know, I took that apart to line it. I wanted mine to be warm too, so rather than quilt it, I've underlined it with a cream fabric, so it's got that extra layer of warmth. And on Millie's, I didn't make a feature of all of the pieces, but here I top stitched the seams open, so all the seams would lay really flat. And then you can see inside it's lined with this lovely fabric. I got this years ago at John Lewis, like, you know, they used to do some really good vintage reproduction prints. But sadly that is kind of the end of that fabric, but it's been repurposed into something useful. Now if I turn the camera down, you see I've added some patch pockets, copying the frill from here, and I thought I'll put some frilled patch pockets on. I don't know how useful they'll be, but I just wanted to continue the decorative theme. Now the only thing I haven't done with this jacket is I haven't done the buttonholes yet. And I'm going to put these cream buttons on it. Unfortunately, I can only find 4, and I don't know how well 4 is going to space over it. I haven't got any other buttons that I really like, so I'm sort of making a decision about it. Anyway, I should just pop it on and show you. I don't think I've actually put it on since I've bias bound the hem and the cuffs, so hopefully I'm happy with it when I put it on for you. Now that's a relief. I've just put it on and I found the sleeves are exactly the right length for me. So, you know, I've stretched my arms up, they're not coming down too short, and yeah, they're just right. And then you can see how I've bias bound just over that edge and the lining coming down inside. And it's not easy to get the angles all the time to show you everything. My pockets in action. I am so pleased to finally have made an in-betweeny season jacket. You know, when it's still really sunny, like when spring starts or the beginning of autumn, and you want a lightweight jacket to put on, you're not ready to get rid of that summer sort of lightness of clothes to move into darker colours and heavier sort of fabrics. This is going to be the perfect jacket for me. It goes really well with my jeans. It'll look lovely over dresses. So I'm really pleased to have finally made that wardrobe piece that I needed and wanted. So yeah, chuffed with my jacket. Beyond chuffed with my jacket. Now something else that I finished recently was my cardigan that I was knitting in this gorgeous blue. The other knits I'm going to show you are all in this same wool. It's Drops Nepal, which I absolutely love. It's only 70 meters on the ball, but you know, it's an an alpaca and wool mix. So like I say, it's only 70 meters, but it it's either about £2.40 a ball, and at the moment I think it's £1.70. So I took advantage to buy for my next project. But I absolutely love knitting with it. You knit it on 5mm needles and it is so cosy, it's soft, and the colour choice is fabulous. So this one was called Forget Me Not. And this was from a 1950s pattern that is meant to be knit on 5mm needles but in double knit wool, and I thought I'm going to knit it on the Aran. Hence I've ended up with a cardigan that is a lot bigger than I would normally wear. But you know what, I'm really pleased. It's rather nice to have a slightly different cardigan that's longer and just more cosy. But I might knit, you know, properly in the double knit just to get the more fitted effect. It was this that I was drawn to. It's got raglan sleeves, and you see this lovely sort of basket sort of weave stitch on here, and the pattern was meant to have 6 buttons up the front, but I could only find 5. I found them at a brocante. If you see them here, and they're just such a brilliant match, aren't they, for the wool. So yeah, 5 buttons on it, but yeah, it's really, really cosy. So I'm now going to show you my other knits and some fabric I found, and just tell you about my plans with these things. Right, so I finished that blue cardigan. Oh, and I must tell you as well, I totally forgot, it was absolutely super yarn chicken. I ordered 3 more balls because obviously I was going way bigger than the pattern, and with vintage knitting patterns, they go by weights rather than meterage or yardage, so it's there probably is a way of working it out, I don't know. So I just sort of guesstimate how much I need to buy. So I had to buy 3 more balls to finish this cardigan up. And then as I was doing the button band, it was getting so I needed that much more and the wool was about to run out. But somehow I managed to kind of ease and stretch it in. Then had I got enough wool to sew the button band on. Luckily I'd sewn the rest of the cardigan up, and I found in my knitting basket some long strands that I'd saved. I can't believe how happy I was about past Lisa, who had thought about saving some wool, and I just managed. I literally think I had about that much wool left over at the end, so it really was like the skin of my teeth I got it finished. But I have also got some other knits on the go. I can't finish something and not have something, and there are quite a few that I started about a year ago and I would like to return to. But I will show you the 2 that I'm currently working on in preparation for the colder months that are very soon on their way. Now I think I've shared this pattern with you before. I saw it on Tara Dayton's YouTube, and it's the lion pattern, and this jumper is exactly the shape jumper I like wearing. So I'm knitting that on. It's a drop stipple that I've used before for my Anouk cardigan. It's called Putty, and I have told you before that somebody said, oh, I like your beige cardigan, to which I was horrified because I do not wear beige. I don't do beige. But I'm knitting it in that same wool, and it's got this lovely lace design up the front. I think years ago I made a scarf using this sort of leaf lace design. So, I mean, this could be a quick knit. It's on 6mm needles, but I'm just sort of picking this up every now and again. I'm working on the front first, doing the fun bit first. Now, alongside knitting that, I did get some more drops because my younger daughter wanted to do a wool order, and I thought, well, might as well get free postage, so if I chuck some wool in, and then I saw that Nepal was on sale, so I don't know, it'd be silly not to, wouldn't it, to prepare for your next knit. And the knit is this, it's a 1960s, I mean, it's a knitted skirt and cardigan, using my knitting needle as a pointing stick. It's a skirt and jacket, and it reminds me of the 1950s knitted jackets. It's got this beautiful shawl collar here. The knitted jacket have the zip up the front and knitted designs on them. But I'm going to do mine totally plain. I've decided I just need some real wardrobe staples, you know, that go with everything. So I'm knitting it in this cream Nepal here. I do love cream knitwear, it makes me really happy. So here she is on the needles. She's already been started. Nothing too exciting to show you with them, but now on Sunday I went to what was called a Forgotten Fabrics fair at an old railway station that they've done up for all sorts of events and things. It's a really lovely place, and interestingly it's the station that my mum bought the last ticket to on the day that it was closing in the, I think it was like either the late 50s or early 60s. So when they reopened it all these years later, it's when my daughters were quite small, my mum had to cut the ribbon, you know, and we had the first train ride there, and it was such a little track, so we kind of got on the train, shunted up and moved backwards again. And last week we had a family lunch. I think it was about 7 of us cousins there, and my mum and my only other aunt who's still alive. And they were laughing about that day and how it was just such a short train ride. But, you know, it's really lovely. Everyone sort of came from the family. My mum was sort of like the celebrity of the day, having bought the last ticket. And she looked like a glamorous model. She's still a very, very beautiful lady. But, yeah, with her black beehive and yes, really stylish. And there was a photo in the paper of her buying that last ticket. I think that was all staged after the event. But, yeah, she found really funny. But anyway, Forgotten Fabrics Fair, it's just lots of people like you and I either just getting rid of their fabric, a few dealers, but mainly it's just people clearing out their stash. So it's not super prices. I mean, I was getting fabric for £2, 2.5 metres for £4, and I got the most amazing vintage fabric. I saw on the way out, which is a 1940s crepe, and I think it's 5.5 metres. I got it for £15, so there were some absolute steals, and people are really happy with the prices because they're clearing out their stash, and it's win-win for us what we come home with. So yeah, I've got some really lovely things to show you. My little pile here. I think I will show you that. Some's new, but mostly it's vintage. I think it's only one new fabric, but this was the one I was saying I saw on the way out. I can't believe I didn't see it on the way in. Isn't that absolutely lush? I don't normally do sort of greys, but I think this has got more of a sort of duck egg blueness to it, with these beautiful flowers and black all over. So yeah, I can't wait to make something with this. I've got some ideas, and I think this will work just as well in the winter as it will in the summer. I like to make things in the main that I can wear all year round. Only a few seasonally appropriate things, because I want my wardrobe to really work for me. I got this glorious 1950s cotton. I'm going to make another hawthorn blouse. You know, the ones I've made with the Reva collar from Wearing History. So, oh, this smells delicious. I've put some fabric conditioner in with this one. So that one I can't wait to do. And it'll go really nicely with my white jacket and my jeans and jumpers, and yeah, there's mustards and greens in here. There's all sorts of colours I can pick out. I've got this other 1950s fabric. I don't know if I like the sound of it so much, or maybe the feel, but that will make a lovely blouse. It's just really lovely. It was the print that drew me to it. But I'm sure I'll come to terms with the feel of it. It's really important. It's like, I've always hated, you know, cagoules, those ones you wear, you know, it's raining and you're up the top of a mountain. And when people's arms rub at the sides, and it just makes my mouth salivate with, you know, I can't bear. I'm very sensitive to sort of textures, noise, sounds, different things. I've got a problem with the sound of people eating as well. So, yeah, a highly sensitive creature. But yeah, the fabrics have got to be right. This one hasn't been washed yet, but it's a glorious vintage brush cotton in a ditzy print. I actually picked this up for my younger daughter. I thought she might like a skirt or a dress for the winter in this, and she was really pleased. She said, oh, that's just me. So grab that for her. My other daughter, my oldest daughter Rosie, said to me the other day, I have got a long list of things I want you to sew for me. I don't know what the list is yet, other than a pair of trousers. So I think there'll be a lot of not me sewing coming on very soon. The other fabric I got is this. It's a new one. It's quite a lightweight fabric, and I actually bought, because it was £4 for 2.5 metres, so I bought 2 lots of it. But it's quite sheer, so it would need underlining. But I thought it was rather fun for a winter dress. You know, it's got sort of a vintagey vibe, but with then these very bright colours. So I thought that was rather fun. So I've got some of that too. I also got some patterns, zips, threads, and some pattern cutting books. So yeah, came back with a very heavy bag. It was a really, really good day. So all sorts of things being planned at the moment. I've got other sewing happening on the side, but that's all for another day. Don't need to overwhelm you with everything I'm doing. So yeah, jackets all sewn, jeans finally finished. More fabrics to start some other sewing with, and my knitting is progressing. So yeah, it was lovely to be able to share it all with you today. If you really enjoy my videos and what I talk about, then please subscribe if this is your first time here, because that way you won't miss out on my videos. You'll get notified when I upload them. Chat away, let me know what you think. You know, tell me what you're making at the moment, how you're preparing for autumn, and also let people know I'm over here, because more the merrier. Until I see you again, I shall say goodbye for now. Bye bye, lovely people. Thanks for joining me today.